Yes.
Okay, let me just. Okay, we're going to work on the Cartesian plane. Remember last time I told you that we'll be given maybe a certain point that lies on the Cartesian plane. So this is what we're going to work on today, okay?
Okay.
Right. So uh, on the Cartesian plane, let's say we have a point that lies the on the on the plane and it forms the angle with the positive x-axis. I'll definitely do the drawing, then we'll answer some of the questions. Okay, so let's say that I'm just gonna put the drawing here. Okay, let's say this is my drawing. Remember, this is your x-axis and this is your y. Then on this drawing, we have that point P. So in most cases, they'll just give it to you as 4 and 3. So looking at this point, I need you to tell me what is your opposite, what is your adjacent.
Mm, opposite would be the point where y and x meet.
Okay, look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
If I form a triangle like this, right? This is 90, this is theta. So tell me between 4 and 3, which one is your adjacent, which one is your opposite? I just want to see if you understand what is this point P meaning when it's given like that.
mm, your adjacent would be the red line, and then your opposite would be the theta.
Okay, I'm not sure if you understand uh, the question. Okay, you are right. The red line will be my opposite, right? This one will be my opposite. So this is my opposite. And this side here, it will be my adjacent. But now I need you to look at that point. Between 4 and 3, which one is opposite and which one is adjacent? That's what I need to see if you understand the concept of the Cartesian plane.
Um, yeah. Um,
Tell me if you need help, nah?
so are you saying from point P,
Yes, from point P.
I should find out the adjacent and the opposite?
I just want you to tell me if 4 is the adjacent or if 3 is the adjacent.
Oh, 4 would be the adjacent, and then 3 would be the opposite.
Exactly, because the point P is in the form X and Y. So the
Yes.
Y coordinate there is for this side, is the distance, which is the opposite. So the opposite is just 3 and the adjacent is just 4. It's very important that you understand that part, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so on this, on that Cartesian plane, they'll ask you some of the questions, and then now let's say the first question that they ask you is that find the length of OP. They want you to find if this is O, which is the origin. They want you to find the length of OP. So now tell me, how can I find the length of OP?
By using Pythagoras.
Exactly. Find the length of OP. I'm going to use the Pythagoras. So this is my R, this is my Y, and this is my X. So the theorem of Pythagoras says that R squared is equals to X squared plus Y squared. Okay, so I just have to substitute and indicate what is my R. My R is the length of OP. So I'm going to take the OP, square that guy, which is what we are looking for. And the X squared, that's the adjacent. And we said that adjacent is 4. So this will be into 4 squared. We add Y, which is 3. So this will be 3 squared. Therefore, OP squared, it's equal. So I need you to put that Do you have your calculator with you?
Yes.
What do you get if you say 4 squared plus 9 squared? Because we know that 4 squared is 16, right? And
Yes.
this is 9. Then when you add the 2, this is just 25.
Yes.
And then OP squared is 25. You square both sides to get rid of that square. Therefore, OP it's equals to, since OP is the radius, we know that the radius is always positive. So
Yes.
this will just be 5. So the length of OP is 5 units. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay. So now, from the very same question, they'll ask you to find, write down the ratios. This is the second question. Write down the ratios number 1 for sine theta. Tell me, what is sine theta equals to?
Um. Um. Opposite over hypotenuse.
Okay, it's opposite over hypotenuse. So what is your opposite?
3.
So this will be 3 over your hypotenuse, which is something that we got to be 5. So this is 3 over 5. That's the answer, okay?
Yes.
All right. Then the cos, that will be adjacent all over hypotenuse, which is 4 over 5. And then the tan of theta, that will be what? The tan of theta, it's adjacent over hypotenuse. It's x over y, which is 4 over 3. Right. So now, sometimes they might want you to find something like this. They might want you to use that diagram, and let's say they want you to find the sine squared of theta plus the cos theta. They want you to find the sum of that. So we know that the sine theta is 3 over 5. So this will be 3 over 5, and this is squared. We added that with the cos of theta, which is 4 over 5. So when you square that, you get 9 over 25. We add that to 4 over 5. Then you can use your calculator to find the final answer. What is that equals to?
29 over 25.
You got 29
Yes. Over
over
25.
25. That's your final answer, right?
Yes.
Right. So now let's say that, because they can need you to do this in different form. Maybe they can also ask you to find theta. You see? And number 4, find theta, because I need you to prepare for all the possibilities, how can I say this? All different questions that they can ask. Né? So if this is theta, it's up to you which side you want to use. So, but already we know what is the sine of theta equals to. I can use that and say, therefore we know that the sine of theta, that is equals to 3 over 5. Therefore, theta will be the sine inverse of that 3 over 5. And what do you get? What is theta equals to? You just have to say on your calculator, shift the sign of that 3 over 5. The answer that you get, it will be your theta.
I got 36, 87.
Okay, you got 36,
87.
You know, I want us to try something. Let's say that we use the cos. What do we get? If we use the cos, what do we get? If I say the cos of theta is equals to 4 over 5, therefore theta is equals to the cos inverse of that 4 over 5. What is theta equals to?
36, 87.
Oh, nice. We get the same answer. Are you sure? We get the same answer.
Yes.
Okay, theta is equals to 36,87. This tells me that we're going to get the same answer if we use the tan of theta. If we use the tan of theta, this should give us the same answer. So if I say the tan of theta is equal to that 4 over 3, Therefore, theta will be the tan inverse of that 4/3. Can you please try and work this out? Tell me what you get.
4/5. So do you mean 4? Oh, sorry. My fault.
4/3, ne?
4/5, sir.
Wait, let's see. It was the tan theta is equals to so two. So it's opposite. Oh, it will be 3/4, not 4/3, ne?
Okay.
This is opposite, which is 3/4. So now tell me, what is the cos inverse of 3/4?
Cos or tan?
10.
36,87.
We still get the same answer, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So now I think you understand what is going on here, ne?
Yes.
So this will be 3/4, and this gives us 36,87. So it will depend on what you have on your, what is this? It will depend on whatever that it is given, ne?
Yes.
Okay, let's try a different example. Just to do reinforcement for more practice, let's say that I'm given the diagram that looks like this. This is my X, this is my Y, and then when I have this, when I have this, something like this, you know that I want us to finish this trigonometry today so that you can get your assignment, and see how you do on your assignment. Then I'll see from your assignment to see if you are ready for exam or what. But now, when you write your assignment, I need you to be honest. Don't use any textbook, don't use anything. Just the first assignment, it will be like, maybe you can use my notes, but maybe we can use my notes for the sake of practicing. And then the next assignment, you won't use anything. It won't be an open book.
Okay.
Okay, look at this diagram. We are given a point B that is in quadrant 3. And we have T is to -4 as a point. And then let's say this hypotenuse is 17. And then now, let's say we need to find the value of T. I just want you to tell me, do you know how we can find that value of T?
Still using Pythagoras.
Exactly. Let's find T. Let's find T. So to find the value of T, we're going to use the theorem of Pythagoras. This is your Y, this is your X, and this is your R. So now your Y is given. Remember this B, the coordinate of B, it's in the form of X and Y. Already you know your Y is -4, your X is T, and your R is 17. So R squared is equals to X squared plus Y squared. So the value of R, I need to substitute that at 17 squared, which is equal to X. So where there's X, I need to put T. So this will be T squared. Then we add Y, which is -4. Then this is squared. So 17 squared on your calculator. What do you get when you put that?
289.
Which is equals to T squared, and the -4 squared, I think that's 16. It's positive 16. So one of the common mistakes that most learners make, you see this part here, when they substituted that, they put it as -4. This is incorrect. This is wrong, okay? Please make sure that you pay attention to that one. So now the aim is to isolate this T. The 16 comes to the other side to be negative, and this is just t squared. So I need you to subtract 16 from that 289. What is 289 minus 16?
273.
And this is t squared. To get rid of the squared, we square both sides. Therefore, t is equal to the square root of any number. It's plus or minus. Even this one, we were supposed to say the square root of this is plus or minus 5. Therefore, we conclude and say since the radius is positive, this will just be positive 5. So for this one, this is plus or minus the square root of 273, because the square root of 273, that's not a perfect square. So it will give us something like decimal number, you understand? So t will be equals to plus or minus, what is the square root of 273 in decimal form?
Still 273 in square root.
Okay, yes, I need you to say the square root of 273 on the calculator. Give me in decimal form.
Okay. 16, comma 52.
Okay, so this will be plus or minus 16,52. Now, we need to decide if the value of A and the value of T is positive or negative. Look at point B. Point B is in quadrant 3. And how are the X values in quadrant 3?
Negative.
Negative. Therefore, we can conclude and say that T is equal to negative 16.52. What is the reason? The x-axis is negative in the third quadrant, okay?
Yes.
And that's it for this one. Right. And then now let's find the magnitude of, let's say they want you to find the magnitude of B. B is the angle, né? Can you see that B? Let's say the second question wants you to find magnitude of B. Okay, so when you do the magnitude of B, you can use the sign. You know what I'm gonna advise you? Don't use the negative value, né? Don't use the negative value. When it's fine, I'll explain this, né? So we can use the sign, the cos, and the what. Let me go with sign. Okay, so I know that the sine of that angle B, it's equals to what? It's equals to opposite over hypotenuse. And the sine of that B is equal to opposite. It's your y value, which is minus 4. Over hypotenuse is that 17. So now to find B, we first have to find what we call the acute angle. Since this number is negative, we need to find what we call the acute angle. Therefore, the acute angle is equals to the sine inverse of that 4 over 17 without a negative, because we are looking for something that we call the reference angle. You understand?
Yes.
Right. So the acute angle is an angle that is less than 90. So when I say acute angle are less than 90 degrees. But we can see that B, it should be greater than 90. So B is what we call the reflex angle. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Right. So from this step, I need to find the acute angle, and to find that, we need to say the sine inverse of that. So the acute angle will be, what is the sine inverse of 4/17?
13, comma 16.
It's 13.
61. 61.
Okay,
13, comma 61.
61 degrees. That's the
Yes.
acute angle. Okay, so since B is a reflex angle, therefore the value of B will be 180 degrees. You minus that acute angle. So this will be 13.61 degrees. Then you minus the 2. When you minus the 2, when I say, you see, when I say minus, this will be like, it will be wrong, because we are saying that it's a reflex angle. It will be more than 180, so we need to add instead. Now, let's fix that part. We don't minus, but we add instead, because B, we said it's a what? Look at this. Are you paying attention?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
still with me? I just want you to start to be smart. You see, this part here, it forms 90 degrees because the angle starts from that point. Can you see that that part forms 180 already? I'm not sure how I can explain this, né? But let me
Yes.
just try to indicate. You see this point here of your angle?
Yes.
You see that point? It already angles on a straight line. They form 180. So the angle, the reason we are saying that it's a reflex angle, it's greater than, let's say B is greater than 180, not 190, it's greater than 180. Because we are saying it's a reflex angle. We have an acute, and this one is a reflex angle, okay? Please tell me you are not lost.
I get what you mean, sir.
You understand?
Yes.
So since B is more than 180, we're going to take 180, we add that angle to find B. This will give us B to be 180 plus 13.61. So what is that? We know that 180 plus 10, that's 190. We add 3.61, which will be 193.61 degrees. Are you happy?
Yes.
All good, ne?
Yes.
Right. So now this is what you need to understand on the Cartesian plane. You need to be able to work around those things. You need to be able to play around with those things. But before we move to the next section of the Cartesian plane, I need you to tell me that do you have any questions based on what we've covered
No,
so
sir.
far? All
No.
good. Okay. Let's see this one here. Just give me a second. You still with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, if we continue on the Cartesian plane, né? So in an exam, they'll give you an if statement. Né? Let's say they say
Yes.
if the sine of 35 degrees, né, it's equals to K, and then use a diagram. Use a diagram to find the following. So now, Mia, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Né?
Yes.
With my tutoring experience, né? My teaching experience, I'm going to tell you this, and if you don't take this serious, you're going to be in a very big problem with question 5 of your paper 2. Okay? First thing first, they say that you are not allowed You are not allowed to use
calculator.
exactly. Okay, so now what I need you to tell you is that you will never go in an exam and leave the exam room without seeing this type of question on your question paper. When you go there for June, this question will be waiting for you. When you go for your final exam, this question will be waiting for you. When you go next year to your match control test in grade 11, this question will be waiting for you. When you go to your June exam, grade 11, this question will be waiting for you. When you go to your final exam, grade 11, this question will be waiting for you. All of this question will be on question 5 of your question paper. Go and ask the grade 12 learners. They will tell you that they got this question in your math question paper, and they will definitely get it now in June, and they will definitely get it in the final exam. Go and ask the rewriting students. They will definitely get it this on. So it's always there. You understand?
Yes.
So my advice is that make sure that you master this one now with using a diagram, and we need to make sure that we follow all the steps. It's always there. I'll definitely prove this to you by opening some of the past paper before we end the lesson, okay? So that you can see that the question is always there. So my aim is to make sure that you understand this. And we are talking about approximately 10 marks, 15 marks, okay?
Yes.
So they will say that use the calculator to answer the following question. Let's say the first question, in most questions, it will be question 5. Né? They will say the cos 35. We need to find the cos 35. Number 2, let's say they want you to find the tan 55 degrees. And number 3, they want you to find for the sine 55 plus 3 the cos of 35 degrees. So now they'll be asking you maybe 3 to 4 questions. Each question 3 marks, 4 marks, 5 marks, or 1 mark, you understand? But we need these marks, and the question is always there. Né? So to answer this, the most important thing, you need to start with the diagram. There's nothing you can do without writing the diagram. You see, they say that if the sine 35, you're going to write that down and say sine 35 is equals to k. So this k, I want you to write it as over 1, okay? As a fraction, because any number divided by 1 is that number, okay?
Yes.
So since this is sine, the k will be your opposite, the 1 will be your adjacent. All good?
Yes.
100%. So now, oh no, not adjacent. The 1 will be your hypotenuse, okay?
Okay.
Because remember, sine is opposite all over hypotenuse. Please don't make that mistake. So it's the cato. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Are you still with me on that?
Yes.
Then, step number 2, you need to draw the diagram. So let's say this is step 1, okay? And then step 2, on step 2, you need to draw diagram. There's nothing you can do without the diagram. You're gonna draw the diagram. And now, when you draw the diagram, you're gonna look at the angle that is given on the if statement. If the sine 35, so you need to check in which quadrant is 35. Can you please tell me which quadrant we should work on?
The second quadrant.
Exactly, because it's between 90. You said the second.
Yes, so the
35,
one
look at what I'm writing. It's 35 to the second on the second quadrant. Where's 35 degrees?
now now so the first one.
The first one. So 35 lies between 0 and 90 degrees. So the diagram should be on the first quadrant. So this will be
Yes.
my quadrant. Then I'm going to draw a triangle in that quadrant. You understand? This is 90. Then we said this is the opposite, which is the y. This is the hypotenuse, which is the r. So my y is just k and my r is just 1. So now we are missing x. Okay? You need to find x using the theorem of Pythagoras. So step 3, we need to find x. Are you still with me on that?
Yes.
So please, before you answer these questions, make sure that you have x, you have y, and r. So step 3, you need to find x. And to find x, we said we're going to use Pythagoras. Right. So what I'm going to do is that Pythagoras says r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. So where there's r, we sub in 1. Where there's x, we'll leave it like that because this is what we are looking for, plus y,
Yes.
which is k. So this will be k squared. So this is the same as 1. It's equal to x squared plus k squared. We are looking for x. We need to move the k to the other side. So this can be 1 minus k squared. It's equals to x squared. Then square both sides. Therefore, x, remember, it's plus or minus 1 minus k squared. Always say plus or minus 1 minus k squared. Then you're going to look and say, where are the x values? First quadrant. How are the x values in the first quadrant? Positive. So x will be positive the root of 1 minus k squared. Do you understand how we got that?
Yes.
Okay. Now you have x, you have y, you have an r. So now this x here is the root of 1 minus k squared. You understand where is that coming from, right?
Yes.
So you're going to say that this is your opposite because this is your theta. And what is the angle? Angle is 35 degrees. We said it is in quadrant 1 because of that 35 degrees. So this will be your hypotenuse. This will be your adjacent. So I'm just going to write it down the shortcut too because I don't want to make mistakes. You see all the work that we did here. There are no marks for this sometimes. And please note that even though there are no marks, maybe we might get a marks for finding x. But in most cases, they'll start giving you marks when you start solving, okay? You see all
Okay.
this work that we did, no marks for that in most cases. So now we start collecting marks. And in order for us to collect the marks, we need to go all that trouble of finding x, of drawing the diagram. So now the cos 35, that's what we need to first find. So we're going to use and okay, let me answer the first question. Number 1, the cos 35, it's equals to cos is adjacent all over hypotenuse. If this is my 35, this will be my opposite, which will make this to be my adjacent. So I know that cos it's adjacent over hypotenuse, and my adjacent is x, and this is r. Therefore, this gives me the cos of 35 degrees to be equals to x, it's what we just calculated, which is the root of 1 minus k squared, divided by r, which is 1. Therefore, the cos 35 degrees is just root 1 minus k squared. Are you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay, number 2. We need to find the tan 55, okay? I'm not sure. Do you have an idea how we can find the tan 55?
Mm,
Just think about it. How can we find the tan 55?
Perhaps we can use the rules of tan.
Like saying opposite all over adjacent.
Yes.
But we can look at this. The angle is 35. We can do that if we have the angle of 55. How can we form that 55 angle in that triangle?
True.
Look at this. Look at this. This is 90 degrees, right?
Yes.
This is 35 degrees. The sum of angles in a triangle should end up to what?
180.
180. So this tells you that this angle should be 55 because 55 plus 35 plus 90, that's 180. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that this angle here, it's 55 degrees. Is this making sense? Please tell me if you don't understand so that I can explain this again.
Yes, it does make sense, sir.
Okay, so if that angle is 55 and we are looking for the tan of 55, this tells you that I'm going to use this angle. This changes everything. This time, this side will be my opposite. And then if this is my opposite, we said the 90 degrees is formed by opposite and adjacent. Or if this side is opposite, this side will be adjacent. You understand? But this the hypotenuse will always be the hypotenuse. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say this is opposite all over adjacent. So my opposite is 1, and my opposite is what? It's the root of 1 minus k squared, and everything divided by adjacent. What is the adjacent? It's k. Do you understand how the 55 affected that triangle? It changes the opposite and the adjacent. So when you choose which one is your opposite, it depends on which angle you are using.
Yes, sir.
100%. So this tells you that the answer for the second question is just, the answer for this is tan 55 just equals to the root of 1 minus k squared over k. And then we can answer number 3. So on number 3, they want us to find 4 sine 55 plus 3 the cos 35. Okay, so this is 3. We need to find the 4 sine 55 degrees. This is added to 3, the cos 35 degrees. So now sine 55, do we know what is the sine 55? No, we need to first find the sine 55. So look at the angle. Which angle are we using? We are using the 55, which is that angle. This makes the opposite to be 1 minus root k. So this tells us that this will be 4 into sine its opposite, which is 1 minus k squared, the root of that, everything divided by its opposite all over hypotenuse. So this will be over 1. We add, this is 3 into the cos 35. I think we already know what is cos 35. It's just, I'm just going to substitute that one, the one that is a fraction. So this will be 1 minus root k over 1. Are you still happy about that?
Yes, sir.
So this tells you that the 1 is just there. So this will be 4, the root of 1 minus k squared plus 3, the root of 1 minus k squared. So these are the like terms. Né? These are definitely the like terms. So it's 4 plus 3, which is 7, the root of 1 minus k squared. That's your answer.
Okay.
You add the like terms. Né?
Yes.
Are you happy on that?
Yes.
You know, I think if we can work on the last example, maybe we'll leave the question paper for the next lesson. Eh? But now, before we do that, I want us to, I'm definitely going to open the question paper so that you can see how this works. Ne?
Okay.
Pay attention. So now you can see that I have different question papers on the board. I just want you to see that whatever that we are doing on this lesson, it's what you'll definitely get in your exam. So if you look at this question, let's start with this. You see, question 2.2 is definitely what we are doing now. They'll ask you to find the length of that OP. You use theorem of Pythagoras. So that's 2.2.1. And then 2.2, they want you to find the value of that part. You know what you need to do. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and the cosec will definitely work on this type of example. So I just want to show you how this works, okay?
Okay.
Okay, some of them, they are just March question papers. So let me move to another question paper. Okay. This one, let me see what we have here. Look at this 1.2. You see 2 for 6 marks, easy 6 marks. I think you'll definitely get that one. You understand how this works. They always ask the same questions. Find R, use theorem of Pythagoras to collect that 2 marks. Calculate the value of cos theta tan theta. We did this in our lesson. You remember we just did that now on the lesson, cos theta, and then prove that will definitely work on that. So we're going to answer all these question papers before you go to your exam. Ne?
Okay.
So, and then let's move to another question paper. This is, let's see what we have here. Right. So now, when you look at this question paper, I think this is, there it is, 5.1. You see? They give you the diagram, then they'll need you to find the length of OP. Use theorem of Pythagoras. Hence, without the calculator, this is what we were working on now. You see?
Yes.
Right. Now, let's just do one last example, and then we can call it a day. Ne?
Yes.
One last example. On this one, let's say we are given let's say you are given the cos x, and they say this is equals to -5 over 8, and they give you a boundary. They say that the tan x, okay, they'll put an and the tan x is greater than 0, and use a diagram. They want you to use a diagram to find the value of the following. Right, the value of the following. You are only allowed to use the calculator from, okay, it's fine. We'll do that part. Let me just do number 1, which is the tan x. We need to find the tan x, and number 2, we need to find 8, the sine x, plus 5, the tan x. If you look at this question, it's the same as, maybe, which question can we say? Is the same as this 2 questions. You see? Okay, let me just go to the last one. Is the same as this question, because we first already the diagram is given, then we need to find the values of that. But let's take this step by step. On the next lesson, we'll definitely work on those past papers, okay?
Okay.
Right. So first thing first, we said we draw the diagram. Okay. So the first thing first, we draw the diagram because already the cos x is given as a fraction. So when it's given as a fraction, look at this. This is -5 over 8. I know that it's easy for you to do these things, but there are some of the things that you will be, maybe you might I have problems when working on it. I'll show you the first one. Remember when we use the soccer tool, one thing that I need you to pay attention on is that between the 5 and the 8, which one is negative? Can you tell me which one will be negative?
All of them are negative, both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah, because the whole sum is.
Okay, so when you say both of them,
Oh, sorry, no, sir. Wouldn't it be the 5? Because the negative is next to the whole number.
Okay, let's go back to that both. When you say both, it's like -5 over -8. Therefore, this cancels. So are you saying this is just 5 over 8? No, that won't work. Né? So now you're saying that is the 5. The 5 is the one that is negative. Why?
When I
Think
look at the
about this.
given. Okay.
Think about it. Né? Look at this. So it's adjacent over hypotenuse. What do you have to say about that?
Nothing much.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing much.
But look at this. The soccer tool, A stands for adjacent. So the top part is adjacent, the bottom part is hypotenuse. The hypotenuse always positive.
Is positive.
Because it's the radius. So now this tells you that the 5 is the one that is negative. We need to write this as -5 over 8. So
okay.
This is your adjacent. This is your hypotenuse. So what I'm trying to say, these things are easy, but there are some of the things that you guys miss in order to master the concept. So if you understand these small things, that the adjacent is the one that will take this negative sign. So the negative sign will go to 5. So when you draw the diagram, you're going to say that the cos is negative. So you don't check, look at the difference on our examples. Né? Look at the difference. This example, you were given the angle. You understand? But on the other example, you are not given the angle. This is x. So if you were given the angle, it was easy because you said that the cos 35 degrees, it's in quadrant 1 because it's between 0 and 90. But in this case, we are working with something different. In this case, we need to check. Okay, so the cos is -5 over 8. So cos is negative. If cos is negative, this tells you that the cos of x is less than 0. Then you're gonna draw the Cartesian plane and tick all the diagrams where the cos is negative. You understand? Let's tick the diagrams. Yes. All students teach commerce. So where it's cos negative, quadrant 3 and quadrant 2. You understand?
Yes.
Then they said that the tan x is greater than 0. You check where is tan positive, quadrant 3 and quadrant 1. You understand how I did those ticks?
Yes.
Then the quadrant that has 2 ticks, it's where you're going to put your diagram.
Okay.
Which is quadrant 3. So your diagram will be in quadrant 3. So your triangle should be in quadrant 3 like this. So if it's in quadrant 3, this tells you that the distance from there to that part, it's your x. Are you still with me? You following?
Yes.
And then what's next? We know that we said this is the adjacent, it's -5. So x, it's equal to -5. The hypotenuse, which is r, it's equal to 8. What's next? To find the y. How do we find the y? Theorem of Pythagoras. So this will be r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. We are looking for that y. The r is 8 and x it's -5. So 8 squared, when you say 8 squared, you get 64. and 5 squared, that's 25. Then we add y squared. So this is 64. The 25 comes to the other side. This is just y squared. Therefore, as 64 minus 25, when you punch that on the calculator, it's like saying 60 minus 20, that's 30. That's 40. What is this? 60 minus 20, that's 40. And then you're going to say 4 minus 5, that's 1. So this is 31, 39. So 39
Yes.
is equal to y squared. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to square both sides to get rid of that square. Therefore, y is equal to plus or minus the root of 39. Now, this is where you decide if your y is positive or if your y is negative. I think you know how we choose that. We look at this y, it's in quadrant 3. All the y values are negative in quadrant 3. Therefore, the value of y is minus root 39. You're still with me?
Yes.
Okay, so this will be minus the root of 39. So when you have the diagram, you have x, you have y, and r. That's when you can start answering the questions. So the first question said the tan of x. So this is my x, and they are looking for the tan of x. So tan is opposite over adjacent. So opposite, it's minus the root of 39. Adjacent, it's minus 5. The negative cancels. This is just root 39 over 5. Then that's how you collect the 2 marks then, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so the next one, this is where we're going to do the work. The next one, they want you to find 8x. We have 8 sine x added with 5 the tan x. So 8 sine x is opposite over hypotenuse. Your opposite is negative the root 39 over your hypotenuse, it's 8. Then we add this with 5 into the tan x. We just calculated that to be root 39 over 5. You understand?
Yes.
Then look at this. The 8 and the 8 cancels. We are left with minus the root 39. The 5 and the 5 cancels. We are left with the root 39. So it's minus root 39 plus root 39 is just 0. So 0 is your final answer.
Okay.
Okay. Last thing before we end the lesson. I just want to change the question and show you what they can do in an exam, and I'll definitely give you a proof. So you see this number 2. They can ask it in this form. You see, they'll give you you'll be given this statement. And then the question will say, prove that 8 the sine x plus 5 the tan x, it's equals to 0. Because you see, we just proved that this is 0. So if they might say prove that this is equal to 0, you just have to do all that steps. Let's go to the question paper and show how they, I think I did see this on one of these question papers. Let's quickly go to that question paper so you can see what I'm referring to. Let me see. I think it's on question. Okay, there it is. You see, they'll say prove that. They'll say prove that the cos times the tan times the sec is 4 over 3. They just are looking for you to solve this thing. Where there's cos theta, it's adjacent all of hypotenuse. You substitute that. Where there's tan, you substitute the ratio. And for sec also the ratio. Then when you work this thing out, you should get that 4 over 3. But this is something that we're going to discuss on our next lesson, okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Do you have any question based on what we've covered today?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I'm still preparing your notes. I think I need to send the notes now, okay? So to make this fast, I'm going to send you the notes on, I'll send the notes on WhatsApp now.
Okay.
All
Thank you,
the
sir.
news. Okay. Thanks. Have a great day, ne?
Yes.
Sharp, sharp.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.